Oh, yes, it's time. What's going on, Canes fans? Welcome to my annual Miami Hurricanes way too early regular season prediction. Emphasis on the way too early. What I'm going to do is go game by game, briefly discuss it, and then tell you if I believe Miami will win or lose that game. And then at the end of the season, we'll go back, take a look at this, and see how close I was. Last year, I predicted 7-5 in my way too early season prediction, and we nailed it. I didn't get every single game right, but the record was spot on. But real quick, before we dive in, do not forget, I'm going to be live this Friday, May 17th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and the plan is to let you, the fans, go game by game and give your win-loss prediction. The way it works is during the live stream, I show the full schedule up on the screen, and we go game by game, and for each game, one at a time, I put a poll up in the live chat. Everyone there will be able to see it, and all you have to do is click W or L, and we see what the community comes up with. And then afterwards, we compare it to this one, to mine. Last year, the majority vote put the Canes at 9-3, so let's see how close you guys can get for 2024. Just keep in mind, again, that you have to be there during the stream to be able to vote. All right, enough yapping. Let's get into this thing. So you can see the full regular season Miami Hurricanes schedule on the right-hand side of your screen. And let's go ahead and jump into this thing. And Miami is starting off big with a game in the Swamp against the Gators. The most recent matchup was back in 2019, and Florida won that game 24-20. The Gators are coming off of a disappointing 5-7 season and are now going into year 3 under head coach Billy Napier. Now, believe it or not, I do actually believe that this is going to be a close game. As much as I don't think the Florida Gators are going to be that great this season, their quarterback Graham Mertz is returning, and he has a lot of experience, along with welcoming back a lot of their offensive starters just all around. Plus, home field advantage at the Swamp is serious business. However, I am going to give Miami a slight edge here and actually give them the win at Florida. I mean, this is one of those scenarios where there's going to be some issues, I think, for both teams early on. There's going to be some jitters. It's game 1. And I don't think that Miami comes out firing on all cylinders game 1. I mean, there's going to be some things that they need to work out, some kinks. You can practice as much as you want, but when it's actually game day, you got to be able to put it all together. So that's really probably the biggest reason I believe that it's close, but I am giving Miami a win week 1. Moving on to FAMU. This is a home game for Miami, but the Rattlers went 12-1 last season with their only loss being to USF. But FAMU is lesser competition, that's just a fact, and I don't expect the Canes to struggle here. These two teams have only played 2 times, and Miami won both of those games by, get this, a combined 101 points. With all of that being said, give me Miami. Ball State Cardinals. I'm not even going to waste my time or energy with this one. W. Now on to USF, and this is where things start to get a little interesting. And that's because multiple sports media outlets actually have USF upsetting Miami in this one. They've played 6 times in total, with Miami winning 5 of those. USF actually did get a win way back in 2010 with a score of 23-20. And look, I get it. I understand why some websites and some places are saying this. I mean, USF is going into year 2 with the former Tennessee offensive coordinator, who I do think is a very smart guy. He's going to have some stuff dialed up for Miami. But just because they only lost to Bama 17-3 last season doesn't mean much to me. Bama is going to beat that booty 2 weeks before they play us, and then Miami is also going to beat that booty. If you didn't figure it out by now, W. So I've got Miami sitting at 4-0 before jumping into ACC play against Virginia Tech. Now, there might be a little bit of PTSD here because Miami actually started out 4-0 last season and also beat an SEC team in that stretch of games, similar to what I have here. But then Miami went on to lose 2 games in a row, both to ACC opponents. The Hokies are coming off of a 7-5 season, and many believe that they are on the right path to improve. And to be completely honest with you, I also agree. I think Virginia Tech took a step in year 2 under Brent Pry, and they probably do take another positive step forward in 2024. Overall, Miami does own the series 25-15 and has won the last 3 in a row. I would be much more worried about this game and possibly even consider it a toss-up. I'm going as far as to say that it could be considered a toss-up if it were at Lane Stadium. But luckily for Miami, this is a home game at Hard Rock. And although I do typically expect Miami to drop one unexpected conference game, this one's not going to be the one, and Miami's going to get the win. Next up is the ACC newcomer Cal. And unfortunately for Miami, this is an away game. A very, very far away game on the other side of the country. These 2 teams have only played 4 times in total, with the series being tied at 2 games apiece. The most recent matchup was back in 2008, and Cal actually won that one 24-17. The Golden Bears are coming off of a 6-6 season, but they actually beat Washington State, which is the team Cam Ward played for at the time. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean anything because that was a completely different team. But I did want to mention it because if I didn't mention it, there were going to be trolls in the comment section that were definitely going to bring it up. Cal will be coming off of their bye week, so they do have some extra time to prepare for Miami in this one. But overall, Cal is just not that good of a football team, and I'm rolling with Miami. So after the bye week, Miami travels to L&N Stadium to take on a portal-loaded Louisville team. Their head coach, Jeff Brom, is going into year 2 and looking to improve on his 10-2 regular season record that he had last year. This game last season was a close one, but ultimately Miami ended up losing 38-31. Miami does own the series here 11-4, but this season, this game is coming off of a bye week for the Canes, and Mario Cristobal has yet to win a game coming off of one. I'm actually going to put this down as a loss for Miami. I do believe that the Canes should be better, but that bye week curse is the real deal until proven otherwise. I'm not one who typically believes in jinxes and curses and all that mumbo jumbo, but the reality is Mario Cristobal has failed to have his team prepared coming off of bye weeks, so it's tough for me to believe that that is just all of a sudden going to change unless Miami just gets lucky. So on to the big rivalry game, Florida State. Cam versus DJ, the battle of the transfer portal quarterbacks. I'm going to go ahead and get straight to the point and not sugarcoat this one. I know that the biggest argument from Canes fans down in the comment section is going to be that last season we had to start Emory Williams in his second start ever, and it was still a close game. We only lost by 7, so that means this year should be a win for Miami, right? Unfortunately, that's just not exactly how things work. Not everything translates over from year to year, and so many things have changed for both of these squads. Let me make this crystal clear for you. I fully believe that Miami is capable of winning this game, and there is a real possibility that they do. My biggest issue right now in May, in my way too early season prediction, is I'm just worried about Miami getting out-coached in this one, and that specifically costing us the game. So with that being said, I got to put an L down for Miami here. And again, just keep in mind the key word being out-coached. And look, troll all you want, which that's always welcome, both from Canes fans, my fellow fans that root for the same team as me. I welcome all the trolling from you guys, trolling from Florida State fans, and any other fan base, because at the end of the day, fandom and emotions are not part of my predictions. Now, for everything else, they do play a part, like trash talking and supporting the team. I'm going to run my mouth and still root for the Canes. But when making predictions, fandom and emotions, they're left at the door over there. So now Miami is sitting at 6-2 with the big Mario versus Manny showdown coming up. And Manny Diaz will obviously be out for blood, but will most likely be playing a young quarterback, Malik Murphy. Now, at this point in the season, Murphy will have some experience, but will it be enough? Emotions will certainly be running high on both sidelines, and this is a game that Miami should win. They really should. There's honestly no reason why Miami should lose this game. Am I right? No reason. Except for the fact that I'm going to stick with my motto, and that is the fact that Miami almost always drops one game, a game that they should not have lost. It makes zero sense. You look at it on paper, Miami should win. You look at the talent, Miami should win. You look at the coaching situation, Miami should win. But when you look at this thing historically, Miami almost always has at least one of those games every single season. And right now, I'm going to say this is that game, as much as it pains me, because Canes fans, if this happened, it's not like I actually have control over these games. Thankfully, right? Thankfully sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. If Manny comes to Hard Rock, year one, young quarterback, if that is the case, and beats Mario Cristobal in year 3 with a transfer portal loaded team, Canes fans are going to try to run Mario out of town 100%. But I'm just saying that right now, even though this makes zero sense in my head, I'm literally saying this is the random game. Makes zero sense. How did this happen to Miami? And that's the only reason that I can give you, because outside of that, it makes zero sense. I'm just saying. Mario and Manny might also be throwing hands at midfield after the game, but we'll, cross that bridge when we get there. So I do, in fact, have Miami going on a little 3-game skid, unfortunately. And again, hopefully that's not the case, but Miami shouldn't have lost to Georgia Tech last year. Miami shouldn't have lost to MTSU in 2022, and so on. Sometimes these things happen. After that is a chance at revenge against Georgia Tech, and thankfully, I believe that Miami gets it. Haynes King is actually a pretty decent quarterback. I dogged him a lot last season, and he proved me wrong. But I think that Miami just wants this one more this year, for obvious reasons. I'm not going to dive any deeper into it. Just give me a W. After a second bye week, yes, red alert. That's right. I said second bye week. Miami comes back home to take on a bad Wake Forest team that went 4-8 last season and hasn't beaten Miami since 1944. And believe it or not, I'm going to say that trend continues, and Miami gets a win here, and also breaks the bye week curse late in the season. And to finish up the regular season, Miami travels up north to take on Syracuse. Miami and Syracuse have played 23 times in total, with the Canes leading the series 16-7. The most recent matchup was in 2017, and Miami won that one 27-19. Syracuse is coming off of a 6-6 season in 2023, and I will still never understand why people continue to try and hype them up. They tend to kind of start out hot and then they just fizzle out. Miami gets a win here to finish off the season. So that puts my way too early regular season prediction for Miami at 9-3. But the unfortunate thing here is a conference record of 5-3. Obviously, right now I have absolutely no idea if that's enough to get you into the ACC championship game, because I don't know what everyone else's record is going to be at the time. More than likely, it would be a no. which would be a massive failure for Mario Cristobal and the Canes in year 3, giving all of the money that's been invested and all of the transfer portal players that have been brought in. But just because it means that that would be bad doesn't mean that it can't happen or won't happen. Am I positive and optimistic about the season? Of course. This is just a prediction for fun, and it could 100% be wrong. Miami could win more than 9 games, or Miami could win less than 9 games. Miami could win 5 or 6 games. At the end of the day, you can laugh, but we really don't actually know. So I want to close with saying this. I already know the comment section will be filled with pissed off Canes fans, but I need you to remember a couple of things. Number one, last year a lot of y'all did call me crazy. I can go back to the comment section and look at my way too early season prediction, and people took it way too serious. They said, Coop, what are you smoking? You know nothing about football. You're so dumb. I don't even know why you even continue to do this. And we ended up being correct, 7-5 with our way too early season prediction. Now, did I just get lucky a little bit? Yeah, of course. I mean, a lot of this is guessing. I mean, it's educated guesses. I don't come on here just completely uninformed and just throw up random W's and L's, but we are just guessing with a lot of this because injuries can happen in the season and other things could go down that could affect these things game by game. Second off, you have to remember it's called way too early season prediction for a reason. I mean, it's May. A lot of these we're just kind of going with our gut, and it just is what it is. It's way too early season prediction for a reason. And the last thing I want to say is just try to have some fun with it. Don't overthink it. Don't take it too serious, but definitely critique mine. I have no problems with people coming in here saying, Coop, you are off your rocker. What are you thinking? Like, that's fine. But let's keep it about football. Let's have fun with it. And just remember that nothing is impossible. So debate it, critique it. Let's go back and forth in the comments. But nobody knows for sure if they're going to be right or wrong here because literally anything can happen and nothing is impossible. So I want to see your predictions down in the comments. Like I said, talk about mine. Let's discuss it. Let's dive deep into it. And I want to interact with as many of you as possible. And let's just have fun with this whole thing. So let's chop it up down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Remember, though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family. But at the end of the day, I got to say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. I'll see you guys this Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Your voice matters on this channel, and I want you to show up loud and proud and vote. And let's see your way too early season prediction, the majority of the community, right here on the Coach Coop YouTube channel versus mine. I'll see you there. Peace out, y'all.